Welcome into Inside LAFC podcast. We are live on LAFC YouTube. We're live on LAFC Facebook. I am Max Bretos. Welcome one and all to our Monday tradition. Good morning on a Tuesday to our friends in Korea. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. And as I jump into there's already a ton of comments. We have a bunch of folks in here, and we're going to get right to all the details. Welcome, everyone. I see a lot of friends in Brazil. Well, I wonder why. A lot of Fluminense fans are joining us. So welcome. Parabéns. I got to work on my Portuguese. I got to work on a lot of languages. Holy smokes. But tell us the details of Bouanga's transfer. Well, let's get into all of that here on Inside LAFC. And we'll talk about John Thorington, who had an address. So I can give you the details from what John Thorington said with regards to what a lot of folks are talking about, and we'll decipher that, and we'll make some. I'll give you my opinion on certain things, and we'll push it. But John Thorington did address the media as he does every year. It's a preseason availability, and he will talk to everyone about the state of the club. He started the conversation by talking about how pleased he was with the Marc Dos Santos era, what he's been able to do in training, what he's been able to do to tweak things. These are his exact words. I'm not going to paraphrase. I wrote down all the notes as much as I could so you could hear it from John Thorington. You'll probably see some of the quotes pop up on social media from all the folks that cover LAFC and do a great job. We appreciate all the folks that do the podcasts around the club and stay up to date with all things black and gold. He said, I've been really pleased, always interested to see how you have planned these things. Roster is set up with a good foundation. Really impressed with how things look. He did touch on something we've talked about with regards to LAFC and the returning core. And he is a big believer in how that will manifest itself in a very positive way. So he did get asked very quickly about Denny Bouanga. So I see a lot of Fluminense fans because there are these rumors that Denny Bouanga potentially heading down to the Brazilian League. I will start this by saying the Brazilian League is going to be a real player in MLS because they have money. Flamengo just spent 50 million to bring Lucas Paquetá, who is a big star, but that's a lot of money that you wouldn't see Brazilian clubs spending. We're seeing it. Corinthians signed Memphis Depay. Corinthians just won the Brazilian Super Cup, beating Flamengo. We saw all those teams in the Club World Cup. The Brazilian teams, I don't have that information, but they have won every Copa Libertadores, the Champions League, since the last 5 or 6 years. It is utter domination. It is very well financially backed. It's Palmeiras. It's Botafogo, who've gotten themselves in a little bit of hot water with their finances with American ownership. But there is big money, and they're going to set their eyes on MLS. So when you think about a player that does very well in Major League Soccer, we'll use the example of Denny Bouanga. Mexican clubs will be interested and pay above market. And now it appears Brazilian teams. So he was asked about this. Some folks, Dakuga, I heard the LAFC turned down their offer. Is there some news? No report from John about the offer, but he did say the following. Let me see. I've got this down pat. There is interest in a number of our players. While not speaking to specifics, it's worth discussing our transfer process. We need to make sure the economics work and how dramatically will it affect the team's quality and whether we have a replacement. Nothing has happened with Denny because we need both of those things to be true. Our expectations here are massive. So the two things that John Thorington said about if they ever sell a player, whether it's Denny Bouanga or Nathan Ordaz or Eddie Segura or whomever, long-term health of the club and competitiveness. How will it affect the competitiveness? When you hear him say that, you certainly think that if Denny Bouanga was to leave, that would certainly hinder LAFC's competitiveness because he is a prolific goal scorer. Just going over, it's just unbelievable. In the 3 main seasons, he joined LAFC in 2022, 2023, 37 goals in all competitions, 2024, 28 goals, and in 2025, 37 goals, where he had 24 in MLS. And he's averaged around 47 games per season. He scores in every competition. He is the best signing in LAFC history, certainly when you look at the amount of productivity in a short amount of time, but you could almost say that in Major League Soccer. Now, you also got to remember about Denny Bouanga. He's 31. You don't get big offers in whatever 13, 15, 17 million dollars for players that age, because if it is in fact Fluminense, they're not going to get a return on investment if they have him for 3 years and he's 35. So time and place is important here. So I can't answer that. John Thorington answered it as best he could and moved forward with that and gave us those details. He says, he did add, I am satisfied with what we have. He answered this in Spanish. 1 or 2 more players potentially coming in. This year, we want to begin with a competitive group. So if you look through the tea leaves, it sounds like the team is going to stay, in fact. But lots of things happen. I think it was just timing. This was not a press conference with regards to talk about any of these rumors, of which John Thorington's pretty explicit. He will not talk about internal club business. Nobody does. I mean, that is supposed to be behind closed doors. You can compromise anything with buying or selling players if that information gets out. So with all that said, this was preseason availability. It was already scheduled. Just so happens, and I was on the call, and you could see all these people from all over, national media, international media tuned in, hoping to, I'm sure a lot of folks in Brazil. And listen, for the Fluminense fans, we love you. We saw what you did. If nothing happens, you are welcome to support LAFC. Join us here every Monday. Maybe there is some sort of solidarity that we can create. But if we could see Fluminense, sometimes they're in the shadow of Flamengo in the Brazilian league, in Rio de Janeiro specifically. But I can see it. Everyone's coming. Look, people, Pogba coming, Denny Bouanga. No, we'll see. Look, if they really want him, I'm sure LAFC they'll listen to everything based on what we heard. Here we go, John Lee. I want Max's explain our club situation today. I know you came in pretty firm there. I hope you can discuss it. I have no say in the matter. I try to stay out of all these things because I have discovered over the years a lot of these reports are either erroneous or don't see their way all the way through. So you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble. I can start losing my digits thinking about the amount of names that we've heard lock, stock coming or leaving LAFC that haven't happened. So Soccer USA, say it ain't so, Max. I mean, based on what you've heard, based on what you shared, what I shared with John Thorington's address, you can see that he shoots straight. I've known John a very long time. I covered him as a player. He doesn't really sugarcoat or hide anything. He'll give it. He was also asked about Steven Eustachio. There was a report. He says, we may need to add something until Igor comes back. He's not saying that player is coming. Someone of Igor's profile, of course, if anyone moves out, we'll need to reassess. Igor Jesus mending from the injury that he picked up in his knee in the summertime, and he's not going to be back. We would imagine the earliest May, hopefully, but probably into next summer as well. He's been with the club, hasn't really trained very much. He hasn't trained at all as he's coming back. Aaron Long also on the mend. So let's see if I can ask. This is Inside LAFC Podcast. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Welcome to all our new listeners from wherever they have come. Bouanga's jersey better hang right next to Vela's. Vela's is retired. Denny Bouanga well on his way. He has been so productive. I mean, even in preseason, he's smashing them in. Tell Bouanga to stay. Let's see what I can do. Me and Denny, man. Denny and I, we've been through it. So always great to see him. Good morning, Mr. Bretos. Hello, the Chris. What the heck is going on? Well, there we go. Perfect timing. So I don't have to shoulder it. We heard it from John Thorington. I have no doubt that there's interest in Denny Bouanga. You'd be crazy if a club not to when you see how productive he is. That is the reality here. But LAFC, and I'll preface this again with what John Thorington said. This is me, kind of my words. With competitiveness and ambition, and what he said about being competitive from day one, you would have to imagine they want to stay put, and they have big games coming up in CONCACAF Champions Cup. We know all that chemistry and synergy between Denny Bouanga and heung-min, so they certainly want that. But this is the business of football. Players come and go. They always will. Hola, Max, from El Guapo Dog. Les Sheeps. Bretos. That's me. Where's the GoFundMe for Bouanga? Good evening, sir. Good to see you again. Hello, Craig. By the way, it looks like Celtic doing very well without our guy, Wilfred Nancy. Please, I can't take it. Amazing, the Fluminense fans. So stick around. Max, can you call Denny live right now? Give him a speed doc and give him a quick text. So obviously that's first and foremost, but we're going to move on with the program. Again, there's really not much, but I'm just telling you how awesome it is that the general manager spoke moments before our show, and I gave you the information about everything that he was asked. And let me see if there's any more details here with regards to what he said. No, I think I gave you them. Excited for what we could achieve from the jump. He also talked about how LAFC's brand is growing in Korea, also in the United Kingdom because of Son Heung-min. Son Heung-min is obviously there's big partnerships here with Korean companies for LAFC. And he also talked about what we talked about last week, the blend of young, exciting players. He said Nathan Ordaz made a big jump. David Martinez not as big, but is very excited to see what he can do. And also mentioned a young new player, Amin Boudry, who is now in the fold for LAFC. I'm sure working out all the documentation so he can come through. I'm going to try and keep up with these questions. Some people are pretty sure that it's on the move. Can we throw in Segura? Eddie Segura had his birthday, man. We love Eddie. Eddie logged in a lot of big minutes. Should appreciate that, man. Max, so willing to sell Brazil. Brazil's amazing. You know what I think we should do with Brazil? This could be sacrilegious. Is MLS and Liga MX and Brazil are the three strongest leagues in the Americas. Argentina's got better players than MLS, but it doesn't have the infrastructure now, the stadiums and so forth. Everyone wants to join the Copa Libertadores. I say MLS, Liga MX, find some relationships with the Brazilian league so you can play those teams in a high tide. I think Brazil would be down for it too. They're looking for some new partners. We hate Flu. Why would you hate Flu? Union LAFC and Fluminense. Fluminense, beautiful jerseys. I know the Fluminense, beautiful jerseys. I first saw it, I think it was Keith Richards or one of the Rolling Stones wore it at a concert down there in Rio de Janeiro. Bouanga is our attack. No doubt about it. Let's move on. LAFC preseason continues. They played Portland last Wednesday at BMO Stadium. I was there to check it all out. There is 2 more games after this. They're going to both be in the Coachella Valley Invitational February 4th, which is Wednesday, versus San Jose. I'm going to hope to pop over there. We'll see if I can take a peek over there at the Performance Center, I believe. And then February 8th, they face New York City FC. I mean, February 4th will be at Coachella. I already said that. Sorry. February 8th, New York City FC. So the club's going to be heading out to Coachella to train and focus. You could see a huge step from training in LA than when they get to take the team away. They go to Coachella. Vancouver Whitecaps are in Spain. Other teams are in different areas doing their preseason. But to get the team in buses and stay in hotels and have conversations, we've talked about the coaches in the past with Bob Bradley and Steve Cherundolo, you will see an uptick in the performance in the preseason. February 8th, I will be there. The game is at noon. Coachella Valley Invitational. You can go check some tickets out there. Come by and say hello. Bring your sunscreen and a hat. That's what I'll do. And water, because the sun will hit you there. But that's the Coachella Fairgrounds, not fairgrounds, but where they do the music festival. So it's a cool place. A lot of stuff to do if you can make out there in over the weekend. But this last game against Portland, mixed bag of players. Few guys sit it out. They were there. Son Heung-min training with the side, as was David Martinez, but they didn't feature in this game. So it was Denny Bouanga. The game ended 2-2. Denny scored both goals, so you can just see the productivity. There was, let's take a look. This was the starting 11, and a lot of the kids came in. I'm telling you, I'm confident in saying this is going to be the best year with the young players in LAFC history because they're going to get opportunities. Real quickly, February 8th, if you can't make it to Coachella, that game, noon Pacific time, will air live on Fox 11 Plus and LAFC YouTube. One more time. February 8th, if you can't get out to Coachella Valley, that game will air live on Fox 11 Plus and LAFC YouTube locally so you can tune in. Live preseason, man. We didn't used to get that. We're growing. Juice 323, the jersey is fire. So 1 DP till summer. Hold on a second. We don't know anything. Don't put the cart before the horse. Too much of that on social media and stuff where people lock things in. There's nothing locked in. Maxie, will you be at the Coachella? Max from LAFC vet. I will be there. I'll see you there. Let's see. Some stuff in Portuguese. Estou vendo sem áudio. Okay, esse maluso. I don't think I can read. I don't know if I could say that. Denny Bouanga may leave LAFC, but we'll always have his bobblehead. It's true. And Denny Bouanga may leave at some point. He's just a really good player, but it has to make sense. And that's what John Thorington said. Back to the preseason, the starting 11 was Hugo in the back, Artem Smolyakov, Sergi were your fullbacks, Eddie Segura, Ryan Porteous, Chouanier, Delgado, Tillman, and then Nathan Ordaz, Denny Bouanga, and Matt Evans. Matt Evans looked very sharp. The finishing wasn't there, but he had 2 really good chances. And I get the feeling Marc Dos Santos likes him. He's clearly been working on his body. Jude Terry came on in the second half. He's looked pretty good as well. So the young players getting some run there as well with everyone. So Timothy Tillman locking it down. I will say that there was a set piece opportunity that Portland were able to convert on. Hugo a little bit late getting over. I'm sure they can clean that up. The marking wasn't the best, but they did respond very well coming back the other direction. It was an intense game. Portland brought it. They had this guy, Christopher Velde, who was just a thorn in the side, going at Sergi a lot, and those two were going. So that got the juices flowing. This was a good opponent. Got to speak to the Portland Timbers. Phil Neville's there and had a chance with him. And, his team's going through a lot of transition. They lost David Ashala, who was one of the players who went Inter Miami. So the preseason rolls on. 2 more games. And then after February 8th, you got to wait all the way till February 17th for the opener, LAFC in Honduras against Real España. You can get second leg tickets for BMO Stadium on the 24th, and then the opener against Inter Miami on February 21st. So there's a little bit of a gap. Still, the season's still a ways away, so we still have some time to look forward to. That preseason game was also the same day as Media Day, which is a huge day for all of us. We get to sit down with every player and coach with LAFC and get their thoughts, and we create content with that for the foreseeable few months. But just getting some FaceTime with the players, I'm going to tell you, we have some great stuff coming your way. Katia Castorena joined us. She had an amazing sit-down with Son Heung-min. I spoke to Artem Smolyakov, and we had a translator in Ukrainian, and he said, I want to do this in English. A really heartwarming, difficult conversation as the Ukrainian player and what he's had to sacrifice to come here. Look forward to hearing that. I also had a chat with Craig. You're going to like this. Ryan Porteous about possibly making it to the Scottish national team. I talked to them off our recording, and he said, I go, do you think you have a shot? He goes, absolutely. He says, playing in a different league with different officiating, which you have to get used to, is benefiting my game. It is not lost on the Scottish selectors. Whether he can make on the World Cup squad, it's probably he's on the outside looking in. But if he starts all these games for LAFC, they need a center back. Ryan Porteous could be ready to go. Mr. Bretos, do you have any recommendations for the best seats at a LAFC home game? There are no bad seats. They really aren't. But I like above the north end where the 3252 sits, there's usually some seats there that you can get with food and beverage included, and you get all the atmosphere from below. So that's a nice one. Here's some, well, look at this interesting. Brazilians want Bouanga, but will want to sell him back after 6 months. That's not going to cut it. Players can leave, but the timing is everything for the team he is leaving behind. Well, MC, that is what John Thorington said about the competitive nature. So LAFC they are a selling club, but the sale has to accommodate those two things. In case you joined us late, he said long-term health of the club and competitiveness in the current have to be met for them to sell a player. And he also mentioned lots of players are in the crosshairs of clubs. We can give you Soteldo plus Santi Moreno and cash for Bouanga. That's not going to get it done. Santi, two guys that used to play in MLS, by the way. Soteldo was up at Toronto. Santi was with Portland. Wait a minute. Wait, what is this? Instead of defending Bouanga, are you talking about me? You should defend your hairline, my man. Time to use some hair strengthener. That's not bad, man. Come on. It could look worse. I like it. I like it. I've actually put a lot of product in there, if you can believe that. We have a great forward to LAFC, Everaldo. Everyone's trying to cut a trade. So there we go. We will move forward. I know you guys want to talk about that, but we gave you the information, and that is that. And no name calling. When or where was the press conference with JT? He just had it at noon Pacific time, Juan, and he, about 30 minutes, answered everything. Did not hide from anything. Was pretty explicit, again, with how much information they can share with you. Look at these questions. We encourage the Fluminense folks to stick around. So the media day highlights, really exciting. Good to be down there. And I also had a chance to speak with Amin Boudry. He told me, I thought it was Amin, but his first name's Amin. Very excited about being our first Swede and first Moroccan player. Parents are Moroccan to play for LAFC. And John Thorington talked about him too, as I pointed out. So it's another young player with a lot of potential coming through for LAFC. And they've had good chance. They've had really good success recruiting in Europe. Matty Bogusz, who's back in MLS, signed his deal with Houston. Mamadou Fall, former LAFC defender, is at St. Louis. So a lot of LAFC players coming back for different teams. And you can't get caught up saying, I wish Bogusz was here. LAFC sold him above market value. That was very good business. But I'm happy Matty's coming back. Houston, LAFC play February 28th. So you'll be able to see that on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or the re-air on Fox 11 Plus. So look, there's a lot of love for Brazilian football. When is Igor Jesus back? Again, I doubt it'll be any sooner than May or June. It's a very serious injury. It takes about 8-9 months to recover. So everyone's very happy about Everaldo. Lots of good forwards in Brazil. How about João Pedro? I think he's going to start for Brazil at the World Cup. What do you think about that? You want to know about Denny leaving during the summertime? I think it's all up in play. So we can take a look at some of the folks that are coming through there. So no more MLS Season Pass. It's just Apple TV. You don't need MLS Season Pass, so you can go through there as well. Possible CCC path: San Diego FC, Galaxy, Inter. Not guaranteed, but the bracket allows it. So I'm going to get to that. Let's talk about CONCACAF Champions Cup. It starts tomorrow. LAFC doesn't play till February 17th, but the tournament starts tomorrow. San Diego FC, they got a short straw here because they're going to play against Pumas in that game. That's going to be very difficult because Pumas are a month into their season and San Diego FC are just getting started. So that is where they stand. And you can see that. I think Fox Soccer should have a bunch of the games. Daku, give you some tips. That was for Chris, right? Get into the Founders Club if you can. Why not? So CONCACAF Champions Cup starts. There was an article on MLSsoccer.com where they listed the possibilities for success for every MLS team. There are 9 teams in CONCACAF Champions Cup that will be participating in CONCACAF Champions Cup, and Inter Miami is included. I would think they are the favorites, but they have a tougher draw. So J. Sam Jones ranked the chances. He has LAFC number 1. And part for that reason is they play Real España, and then if they win that, they'll face Alajuelense. So Central American teams that they will be able to advance in the quarterfinals. They could face a Liga MX team. And then I believe he likes their chances a lot better because of the path of the first 2 rounds. Real España is not going to be easy. Alajuelense is going to be harder. But if LAFC can get through there, then it looks pretty good for them moving forward. And they would avoid a team like Toluca, which I think is the Mexican team that you'd have to rate as the best chance. You wouldn't face them until the semifinals. So the CONCACAF Champions Cup, if you're eager to see some CONCACAF MLS action. It starts tomorrow. Check MLSsoccer.com for all the details on that. Real quickly, want to talk about the MLS marketplace. It goes on here with regards, by the way, Inside LAFC podcast. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Welcome to our Brazilian friends. Stick around next week. We'll be here again Monday. The Torcida do Fluminense is here. Good stuff. We will roll on. Oh, Max, you're looking good, buddy. Don't let them get you down. Oh, I wasn't. I know. And when I tell you how old I am, I appreciate it. MLS Marketplace. I wanted to touch on this because I know MLS development, player development, it's a little slow out of the gates. I think most people agree because they've taken over the development and it takes a while to get going. We're seeing some signs with LAFC, but I want to talk about some really positive ones. First and foremost, Obed Vargas of the Seattle Sounders, who's from Alaska, represents Mexico. I believe he's in Madrid looking to finalize a move to Atletico Madrid. This is a guy developed by the Sounders and now ready to go to one of the top clubs in the world. And with regards to that, there is, remember, they played Atletico Madrid at the CONCACAF, at the Club World Cup. So, you know, and that was, we look at the Brazilian teams. Remember, LAFC played Flamengo and Denny Boanga scored in those games. So the world was watching, and Diego Simeone saw something in Obed Vargas that clearly made him want to bring him to Atletico. Also want to say Jason Russell Rowe for the Columbus Crew, who was an unknown 2023 playing for the MLS Next Pro side for the Crew, just got a move to Toulouse. So I just say this when you think, you know, like Patrick Agyemang, he went to Derby County. He's done very well. There's Max Arfson, another player that developed here through the Next Pro system. It's happening. It's not pumping, but it's happening. And I start to think that with LAFC and their players, and we'll see it in many other clubs, it's all on the up and up. All right. Let's take one more look at the questions. People online say dumb comments. I know I wasn't the hair on it. Max, look at the people defending. Is the definition of clean. Will Sonny be playing at Coachella? Don't know. He will. I would imagine he'll be there. He's been with the club everywhere we have gone. He is there. You are beautiful, my man, but Boanga is tricolor, suggesting he would go to Fluminense. That is, I know what everyone wants to talk about. Again, we spoke with John Thorington. Doesn't talk about those transfers, but he said if they are going to move a player for LAFC, it has to fall in the long-term health of the club and the competitiveness of the now. Who is the LAFC all-time GOAT? It has to be Carlos Vela. But Denny Boanga has rewritten so much of those record books. Both have been very successful. So that's a bit of a push. I will stick with the original Carlos Vela. But Denny Boanga, if he projects for a couple more years with LAFC, he's going to be untouchable. So he's very near and dear for some of the people tuning in. He's very near and dear to the LAFC fan base. He is, you know, just a prolific goal scorer and good dude. Good dude. A lot of the same questions. Max, you going to Costa Rica if we advance? Possibly. I was talking to some of the folks there, and maybe I can jump on the LAFC plane if they get to the Costa Rica. That'd be fun. It's a long flight, though. Go Pumas for some of the fans that are talking about CONCACAF Champions Cup. I think it's going to be tough for San Diego playing so early to get by a very difficult Pumas team. Think about it. That could have been LAFC. At least they kicked our games to the 17th. So all very good. We're going to wrap it up. And reminder, Saturday, February 21st versus, I want to also touch, Ryan Raposo signed his contract. So he is now part of LAFC, as that was breaking as well with regards to the roster build for LAFC. Saturday, February 21st versus Inter Miami, the MLS opener. It's going to be huge at the LA Coliseum. You can be there, 6:30 Pacific time. Go to LAFC.com to get tickets if you are from out of town. Great time to come in here. February, you can probably get some cheap plane fare. Roll on in and see LAFC against Inter Miami, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, MLS game, regular season game without question, we've ever had. I mean, huge crowd, reigning champs, Lionel Messi, reconfigured, restructured Inter Miami, and LAFC in the first full season of Son Heung-min. Sonny, get us the cup this year. I will do my best to win the City of Angels some trophies. That is a handle that says, I am heung-min Son. I don't know if that's him, but if it is, that'd be pretty cool. I would doubt it. But anyway, we know make believe sometimes here. We survive life after Chicho. We can survive after Bouanga if we get to that. We will see. The responses about the all-time GOAT, Vela, hands down. So there you go. Yeah, I see some people mentioning some players coming to LAFC. John Thorington said 1 or 2 more players coming. So I would say that they're not done, and there's still time to get some business done here by the end of the season. That's all the time we have for this week. A quick reminder, next Monday, Benny Feilhaber joining me on the program. We will have a full MLS preview, and then the following Monday, Benny will be back. We will break down the first set of games coming up for LAFC as we get towards the start of the MLS season. Very exciting stuff. Always great news. Appreciate everyone joining us here today on Inside LAFC podcast. I am Max. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next Monday.